Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Happy post SummerSlam week. What a wild weekend, what a busy weekend, what a week. Today I'm looking back on the SummerSlam weekend and I'm going over the best attires. This is entrance, in-ring, kind of everything. Before we get started, please make sure you subscribe, leave your likes, leave your comments, turn on the bell for notifications, and check out my Patreon for 3 to 5 wrestling match watch-alongs per week. With that said, we'll look at the first one here, and I'll tell you what, spoilers off the bat. The girlies got it. They usually do when it comes to the attire, but the girlies got it. First one we have Charlotte Flair. Not the best picture I have of the robe, but it's the one I got. It's kind of a cheat code. I mean, I'm not like ranking these or whatever. We're just kind of like hanging out and talking about them, but the robe really allows Charlotte Flair to kind of like, bump up in the fit category, This one's cool. They're always very like peacocky, sorta. I think a lot of themes we're going to see are kind of the greens and blues, and a lot of the blues were, I think, in reference to the new Fantastic Four movie. Don't quite know if Charlotte's, well, let's go on to the gear. So that's the robe. I mean, just because something's like baby blue doesn't automatically make it Fantastic Four. There are some like very specific and direct references to Fantastic Four, but regardless, the baby blue looks sick. I like that it was in theme with others, but I do think the bedazzled and the jewels just does take it away from the Fantastic Four sort of thinking. Charlotte's gear is always great. It's always top notch. It's always, again, not ranking it, it's always S tier. So we'll go right to Alexa Bliss. We'll stay on the same photo. Again, hers is always super killer. This isn't like anything super different than what she usually wears. I guess you can say the same thing for Charlotte. I think the main thing with Charlotte was like the really like crazier robe with like the stuff hanging off. But the black and kind of pink with the flames is very on brand. I think I have another picture here in the jacket. Again, nothing like crazy different than what she usually wears, but again, always killer. Plus having the doll Lily as an accessory always kind of, helps the fit. IMO. Maybe. Well, it's a little creepy. It's scary. Whoa, I didn't even know. Wait, look at the eye in Lily. There's a 6 in that eye. A little Wyatt 6 nod, maybe? That's interesting. I never realized that. Not what this is about, though. 2 good attires fits to start things out. But what I'm really looking for in these videos are things that people bring out for the PLEs, right? If this does well and people like it, it's kind of a series I want to do for looking at PLEs and pay-per-views attires, because that's when people kind of bring out the big stuff, So like for Charlotte, I mean, Charlotte's the bedazzledness was, I think, special. Alexa's is pretty standard, but like so far what we've seen is like the robe being brought up for SummerSlam. So that's kind of the lens we're looking to, is what are the fits and what are the attires that exceed their normal attires, and someone like Charlotte, who always has kind of a loud, bright, really cool attire, doing that on a greater scale for a PLE is even harder, and that's the challenge. All right, that makes sense. Let's move on. We got 2 for here in Raquel and Roxanne. Both, I think, killed it. I don't have the best shot of Roxanne here, but the Prodigy jacket with, I think, they're like flaps and like, not like was it a skirt, whatever it was. Really cool. Again, something that she usually wears, but like elevated for the event. Raquel in that, is that leopard or cheetah? I think that's cheetah. Really sick. I mean, ode to, every time I see cheetah, I think that's gotta be Cheetah Girls. The barbed wires sort of thing wrapped around her leg is a really cool addition. I think it's sick. It's not directly matching, which I think that kind of plays into their story of maybe not being on the same side. And once we kind of get into tag teams, we're gonna kind of talk about how the attires match and how that, I think, benefits their cause, But yeah, theirs is great. We'll move on to who I think may have the best attire of the weekend. If not, it's strong competition. We have Jade Cargill with the Jamaican flag inspired attire. I know Kofi Kingston also tweeted out that was like, hey, it's cool that she's doing a reference to Miles' attire. The small details are like the thunderbolt for, a storm is coming. Thunderbolts on the, the little, whatever you want to call them, straps on the thighs. And yeah, just a really cool and tasteful, what I would imagine kind of ode to her culture, heritage, whatever you want to say. Really sick. I love the representation. I think the next one I have is the jacket with the Jamaican flag on it with Jade on the back. I love this. Again, if we were ranking them, which maybe in future videos we will, if that's what people kind of want to see, but it's up there. It's an S tier for sure. And again, she's someone that kind of always kills it and always has that step above. So to see what she does for PLEs, I think is always something that's going to bring eyes to her matches, or more eyes, I should say. You know what I mean? All right, next we are starting out with all the girlies at the top of this video. We got Tiffany Stratton, again, in the baby blue. Again, I don't think everyone's making a reference to the Fantastic Four, but I don't know. I'm no, fashion color projectionist where people are like, oh, the color of the season's going to be this and like da-da-da. But maybe baby blue is the color of the summer or the color going into August or fall or whatever. Tiffany Stratton, again, this is similar to the gear she usually wears, but I think this is elevated for SummerSlam. The jewels with the baby blue, really, really good. And again, I like that. I don't know if it's on purpose. I would imagine it must be. With some people doing Fantastic Four, we'll look at CM Punk and Io as well. I think a lot of people doing the baby blue thing is really cool that everyone's kind of part of the same, collective thing. And like, oh, we're going to stunt in these baby blue attires. And again, maybe because the Fantastic Four stuff is going on that I'm noticing it a little more. But regardless, Tiffany killed it. We'll move on. All right, I couldn't find a good image of Drew, but someone who I think underrated, not necessarily in their in-ring gear, but like the jacket was something that caught my eye. This big long trench coat matching with like the arm guards with the spikes or whatever, the black with the maroon inside. I thought it was really, really cool. Very just like, I don't know, he seemed just like a gladiator on a mountain during medieval times. It was really, really good. And I don't think it got talked about enough. Next. Again, not a great picture, but say what you will. Logan Paul, pretty decent in-ring attire. I like the bandana with the really long back that he kind of, it's very cocky looking, kind of adds to like I don't know, for some reason the bandana just kind of like has that feel for me. The yellow and black is really cool, kind of seemingly his colors that he's kind of leaned on during his career. Yeah, very solid. Don't have much to say, but like it's solid. A lot of the men usually don't kill it. There's like a handful that we're going to talk about that do kill it, but a lot of them kind of stick with their normal attire. That's why not everyone is in here. Like, I skipped over the entire Roman J, Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed, because all their attires were pretty solid. Jay's was probably the best. He had the shorts with like the black and white, but it wasn't anything crazy. But yeah, Logan Paul's was solid. Let's move on to, here we go, CM Punk. Again, this is just an easy S tier if we're talking about it. The baby blue. This is the first, I would believe, direct Fantastic Four reference. I mean, just the baby blue and white just looks so good. He has maybe the best boots and the best boots design in the game right now. The zip up jacket, almost windbreaker sort of. Is it a windbreaker? It's at least like a boxing sort of like training jacket. And then we'll go to the in-ring attire with the baby blue trunks with the white stars, and the boots have kind of the flipped colorway, just a really nice detail. Again, up there right next to Jade in S. He absolutely killed it. And again, a really, really great Fantastic Four reference that is even elevated by his signature. It's clobbering time. That's what the thing says in Fantastic Four. It really, really makes sense, for Punk to do this reference. And I'm glad he did. I'm really glad he did. And it's subtle, too. It's not like he had, like, something that said the thing on it, or it was, like, orange, whatever. It's just very, very subtle. If you pick up on it, you pick up on it. Again, terrible photo, but he was on the show. We got to talk about it. Seth Rollins is someone that always kills it. I know it's his gimmick and it's his whole thing to have these crazy outfits or whatever. But ever since he's kind of been, like, I would say heel at this point. Well, yeah, definitely heel. He's toned down the fits, but now they're not just like Willy Wonka-esque, even though he did do a Willy Wonka impression almost with dropping the crutches. Now they're way more just like swagged out supervillain, The shiny ass jacket. We're even talking about the crutches and the brace and then the black pants that are almost like the flare. Very like 70s and 80s. It's fantastic. He always kills it. I wish I had a better picture to kind of talk about the front of the jacket, but super sick. And then just what a moment. Okay, next. All right, I don't have a picture of Naomi's entrance, but like so sick she had her dad there playing guitar. I think she had a really, really cool jacket on. Regardless, though, Naomi also up there would be an S tier. I believe even the jacket had like caution tape coming down. I saw a lot of people call it cosplayer, just call it, dressing as a Naomi fan. A lot of people when I was walking around at SummerSlam had these like sick, like black baggy pants with like caution tape or cool tops with like caution tape all around it. People went crazy. People killed it. But yeah, the yellow and black is really, really perfect. And then the caution tape kind of being weaved into being a part of the attire, like kind of the strap going around her neck. I really like the boots being kind of contrasting patterns, where on one you kind of have the horizontal laces, on the other it's more of the vertical stripes. Super sick. It's a small detail, but fantastic. Naomi, unreal. All right, we got to talk about Rhea Ripley, of course. Now, Rhea didn't really go above and beyond past her usual attire, which her usual attire, is always sick. All the chains and the leather jacket with more chains is always sick. So needed a nod, but didn't do anything that was like, super, super exceeding what she usually does, even though her usual attire is always great. Next, you must have assumed who's coming next. We got Io Sky. unreal, someone who always kills it, and I do think this was kind of a step up from her usual stuff. Maybe. I mean, her stuff is always, whether it's like the coat she kind of wears in the ring or just backstage fits, always one of one. This jacket's really cool. Someone that also leaned, I think, a lot in the white and blues. And then neon green is a nice kind of pop contrast to those colors. A lot of purple in this. The jacket is super sick with the feathers. Then we'll go to just the in-ring. Again, not a great picture, but a lot of people were also calling this maybe a Fantastic Four reference, which I don't know if I fully agree. They don't really wear purple or fur, and I think it's just because of the baby blue. But again, it looks like people got the same email or in the same group chat of like, hey, we're doing sick baby blue fits. Io was a part of that group chat. Really cool. She always kills it. I like the flaps, almost like a giant collar. Unreal. She's the best. Fit God. Next. All right, a lot of tag teams to talk about. We're gonna kind of blast through the tag teams, but we have Andrade and Rey Fenix. You can't really see Phoenix's pants in this, but Phoenix and Andrade, even though they're not as solidified as a team as the other teams, they still came in matching gear. They did the purple. I mean, this jacket from Andrade is sick. The pants with the purple and white. Phoenix with a matching purple mask and attire. Phoenix's jacket is sick. Andrade looking like Piccolo, low-key, from Dragon Ball Z. Really good. Adds cohesion, you know, and confirms that, like, hey, we're on the same page. So much so we coordinate our fits and colors and whatever. So yeah, this is great. We'll go to DIY here, who, again, not like known for their like crazy good fits. This jacket on Johnny is crazy. Not a big fan of the jacket, but had to give them a mention because they went with a different colorway than everyone else. They went with a dark blue, matching attire. That's gonna give you points. That's why they're mentioned here. Fraxium, baby blue. This is kind of Fantastic Four, I'd say. Maybe not a direct reference, but at least in the colorway. Again, they're on the same email, same group chat. Like, hey, we're gonna kill it in the baby blue. Nathan Frazier looks like a Power Ranger. Axiom looks like a Power Ranger as well. The blue mask is sick. The cape. This is great. I really like how cohesive theirs are. And it's like the baby blue with the other like kind of tonal blues throughout it. So it's like it's one color. It's one color, but it still stands out and looks unique because of like, I don't know, it's like 3 or 4 different shades throughout it. Very solid. They did a great job. Who we got next? Mercy Machine Guns. Couldn't find a great photo of their attire. So we do have, which I guess we'll talk about their fit since a fit video. We got Dudley Boys. We got Bo Dallas. Bo Dallas kills it. You still have some Uncle Howdy makeup, it looks like. Devon Dudley, sick Air Maxes. Bubba Ray, absolutely insane shirt, but pretty cool, I guess. All right, Morrissey Machine Guns, another example of them coordinating. I like I don't even know what you would call this. A lot of purples and blues and reds throughout it. Again, nothing like over the top, nothing crazy, but their gear is pretty standard. So this was nice to see for a SummerSlam, them kind of pulling out like, I don't know, just a little more color, a little more design in their attires. Then we'll go to the Street Profits. Killed it. Probably the best attires, I would say, next to Fraxium. Again, I like that each team had a distinctive color, right? Fraxium had the light blue. DIY had the dark blue. Morrissey Machine Guns had the black with sort of like, you know, reddish colors. Andrade Phoenix with a purple. I don't know why I'm listing them. We all just saw them. And then Street Profits in the red. Really sick. I mean, like, both of them killed it with the sleeveless hoodie, and the shorts is cool with kind of the flame in the red. Then Montez Ford. Ooh. I mean, he's been cosplaying as Shawn Michaels for the past like month. And low-key, I'm glad he didn't do like another Shawn Michaels fit where he kind of took it in his own. You can't really see. I wish I found a better picture, but on the side is a portrait of King Tez. I believe it's like a very royal looking like painting sort of thing of himself, which is hilarious. Yeah, these guys always kill it, and they definitely elevated, I think, for SummerSlam. So this would be an S tier. I don't know why I'm still doing rankings. We're not doing rankings next. All right, we got Becky Lynch, who, again, similar to Seth, now that she's a full-blown heel, kind of tones down the crazy fits, but still goes like evil supervillain sort of thing. This massive white fur coat is electric. I love it. It's sleeveless. It makes no sense. It's perfect. That's the best part of the attire, because you kind of go to her in-ring. It's pretty standard. It's cool. The red and black is solid. I like it that it does look different than kind of the standard woman's gear right now. And I would still say like a little elevated for SummerSlam, but still keeping in mind that she's a heel and she can't do like the coolest attire, you know, still gotta be a super villain. All right, Lyra, again, very similar to what she usually wears. What she usually wears is always sick. Not the greatest picture, but went with the dark blue to kind of contrast Becky's black and red, which, you know, I'm not saying I know that they have communicated about this, but I don't love when wrestlers come out and they have like the same color attire, especially when it's like a heel and face. I love the contrast of Lyra in the blue matching with Becky's black and red. Not much more to say about these two, just like very solid. Nothing like super crazy, but very solid. All right, next up is Dirty Dominic Mysterio, someone that in the ring and outside of the ring always kills it. Now, this is pretty standard, so it doesn't get like a ton of points. Again, the biggest criteria here is how do you elevate it for the big show. I do love the mask. The mask is really, really sick. Like, that's his Mysterio mask. So that's a lot of points. I mean, the long sleeveless kind of trench coat thing is really cool with kind of the brown. You kind of get into like some sort of cowhide at the bottom. The rest of the attire, which I don't think I have another photo of it, is his standard attire, but it's great. The boots are always cool, whether it has the fringe or the cowhide on it or the fur or whatever. I like that he wrestles with like the shirt like tucked into the pants somehow. Don't know how it stays on for most of the match. I think I've talked before. He has maybe the best, maybe like top 3, top 2 in-ring attire going right now. All right. Someone that I've been waiting all video to talk about, folks. You know who it is. AJ Styles with the gear of the night in the classic, I would say most famous, most iconic Eddie Guerrero gear. The colors are slightly different. AJ leaning a little more purple and Eddie's a little bit more blue and green. But like the yellow boots with the flames, the black tights with the colorful flames. AJ Styles even going a step further. And I just noticed now doing this video because I was there in person for this. AJ Styles with the Styles Heat one. So sick. I think Dom has his version of this Heat t-shirt. I wonder if they're selling the Styles Heat shirt. Don't know, but it's sleeveless. It's got a little crop to it, dude. I lost my mind when I saw this. I damn near shed a tear. And I already talked about it ad nauseum on the podcast, but the fact this whole match was then a tribute to Eddie and seeing these Eddie spots that AJ did in the Eddie gear, so good. Even like the hand tape and the elbow pads, it's perfect. I would have expected Dom to do this, but obviously heel. It's a very face move. So I'm glad in this match, AJ was the one to do it. And the low rider, we'll call it an accessory to the fit. The low rider was just the icing on the cake. Even though we got the icing before the whole cake, because we saw the low rider first. I can't say enough cool things about this. Yeah, it was perfect. It was really, really perfect. Yeah, I'm glad the colors and the flames were slightly different. It wasn't just like an exact copy paste, but like damn close. Really, really cool. Now we're getting down to our last two. You probably could have imagined. Now these last two, especially for the latter one we're going to talk about with Cody Cena, didn't pull anything crazy, but they need to mention this giant ass helmet skull mask thing that Cody pulls out for big events. It's so ridiculous. It's so silly, but I love it. I'm always curious what main color Cody is going to go with for his attire, whether it's the navy blue, which is my personal favorite, the white, the red, a different, shade of blue or, sort of silver he's done. My favorite, like I said, the navy blue, and you can see it here, not the greatest quality picture, but the navy blue just really makes the red and the white pop. And Cody has some of the best gear in general. I really love how high-waisted it is and how it kind of comes up like near past his belly button. It's very, very like old school and reminiscent of a different time. And Cody's kind of keeping that alive and for a multitude of reasons. Very, very solid. Again, nothing like super, super crazy. The craziest part was like the helmet sort of thing, but really great. And the last one, we got to mention Cena when we're talking fits. The jorts. I'm wearing jorts right now. Can you see them? I got my jorts. I hope you're wearing them too. As much as I dog on how kind of ugly the Cena merch can be, especially like post like 2009, 2010, you gotta love it. It's so him. Is it the best fit of the weekend? No. But in a way it is. In a way it is. He couldn't not be mentioned here. But folks, those are what I think is the best or just my favorite attires of the whole SummerSlam weekend. Let me know if you like this concept. Let me know if you want to see this for future PLEs. I think it's kind of a fun and different way to kind of look at wrestling that doesn't maybe get talked about as much. Don't know.